If you're currently in the process of struggling to quit smoking weed, quit drinking alcohol, quit vaping, quit smoking cigarettes, whatever the addiction is, quit watching adult media content, and you find yourself saying, this is hard, quitting vaping is hard, quitting smoking weed is hard, quitting watching adult media content is hard, and you're really struggling with it, today's video is for you. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs, which are dedicated to helping people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content, substances I once struggled with. To learn more, check out the pinned comment or the video description. At the conclusion of today's video, you can learn more about our programs and products to help you quit. So when I first quit those things, I constantly found myself saying, oh my God, quitting vaping is so hard, quitting smoking weed is so hard. And trust me, to some extent it was hard, okay? For one reason it was hard is because I was in such a state of dopamine deficit at that point in my addiction. I was lacking the very neurotransmitter that I needed to be motivated to take a change and to see that change through on a repetitive basis. So from that sense, quitting vaping, quitting smoking weed, quitting any drug, once you've entered to a realm of addiction can be hard because you're actually in a state of dopamine deficit. So in that sense, it was hard. And then I was also facing other health complications from my decisions. I had Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, so I was quite sick from smoking weed. I had early stages of psychosis. I was in an acute state of psychosis by the time I first quit. I was having panic attacks when I first quit. I probably had disassociation. So from a mental health standpoint and a physical health standpoint, I was facing challenges and that made it hard. But in the big picture, how hard quitting vaping is, quitting drinking alcohol, quitting smoking weed is, really comes down to perspective. And I think we can create a shift in perspective by diving a little deeper into gratitude and kind of the mentality of, well, it could be worse. I am fortunate enough to have never been homeless. I am fortunate enough to have never been in a situation where I've broken the law and found myself in federal prison or in jail. I'm fortunate enough to have always had enough money to have food on my table and have a roof over my head. Now, despite something that truly was hard, going through years of a brutal divorce with my parents, that was truly hard for my family and myself. Like, that was really, really hard. Bad relationship, very hard. That was something truly hard that my family and myself had to go through. My sisters, right? That was hard. But aside from going through that, I'm very lucky. I have family that loves me. They were always able to provide a roof over my head as a kid. Now I'm able to provide that for myself as an adult. I'm really fortunate that I've never been unemployed for a prolonged period of time and that my finances have been so bad. I'm really fortunate that I've never had to battle cancer and that I've never experienced, or that I've never been in a tragic accident, and that I've experienced the loss of a limb or the loss of one of my senses. I'm really, really grateful that I haven't experienced one of those things thus far in my life, okay? Because when I look at those situations, battling cancer, being the parent to a child who is ill, who's really, really sick, when I look at not having a roof over my head or running out of an income, or spending a lifetime in jail, that to me is hard. Like, that to me is really, really, really hard. And I have done hard things, right? I've gone through my own health problems. I've gone through some really bad health stuff related to addiction. I endured my parents' divorce, which for those of you who haven't been through that, depending on the situation, that can be legitimately hard. I endured health problems that I had to watch family members go through, my sisters, which was really, really hard for me to do when you're watching someone that you love is sick and you don't know how to help them. That was hard. And I've now built four businesses from scratch, from zero, from the ground up. That's been really, really hard. But when I reflect on my substance use and saying quitting vaping is hard, quitting smoking weed is hard, I'm like, where did that come from? Because even prior to that, I had gone through other things in my life that were really hard, much harder than quitting smoking weed, much harder than quitting vaping, much harder than quitting drinking alcohol. Quitting those things was nothing more than choosing to make the decision to get rid of something to better my quality of life. There is nothing hard about making that decision compared to enduring illness, compared to enduring family crisis, compared to being in a traumatic accident, compared to losing your health over something that you can't control. There is nothing hard about making a decision to better your quality of life. There's nothing hard about that. So why did I think that was so hard? Well, one reason, I think I was tied up in watching videos and reading Reddit forums of people's quitting vaping is so hard, quitting smoking is so hard, because this is the narrative. The narrative is that it's impossible, that it's hard. But I bet right now I could talk to you one-on-one and I could find several other aspects of your life that you have got through that are objectifiably a million times harder than quitting smoking weed, than quitting vaping, than quitting drinking alcohol. Even if those things are challenging for you, even if you're going through withdrawal symptoms. Yes, I had nicotine withdrawal. Yes, I had a headache. Yes, I was nauseous. Yes, I was irritable. Guess what? I had all those problems tenfold when I was going through my parents' divorce with them, when I was going through my own health crisis, when I was watching my family members suffer of disease and illness that I couldn't directly cure for them or help, right? That was 1,000 times harder than quitting nicotine. That was 1,000 times harder for me than even going through the psychosis and going through the depersonalization and going through the CHS. That was 1,000 times harder. That was 1,000,000 times harder than when I stopped drinking alcohol. I was not an alcoholic. I was not dependent on alcohol by any means, but I had some intense cravings during dinner when I would be out with friends. That was hard. I'd be like, oh my God, it's so hard not to drink around my friends. No, it wasn't. A craving's not hard. It's a figment of your own mind. Look in the mirror, splash some water on your face next time you have a craving, and realize you are okay. You're fine. You're gonna be fine. Sometimes a reality check like that is necessary. And reflecting on my own addiction and how easy it actually was once I approached it with the correct perspective to quit, everything changed. And I want to throw this at you too. If you're in business for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are facing really challenging things in your life right now, and you're sitting here saying quitting drugs is hard, quitting drugs is hard, I'm really concerned that that mindset is lowering your threshold for what actually qualifies as hard, for what actually qualifies as a struggle, as a challenge. Because if you think this is hard, and you've already been through things that are objectifiably challenging, and God knows what life is going to throw at us in the future, from a business standpoint, a family standpoint, a health standpoint, God only knows what's to come, okay? Things that are going to be actually hard, right? A bad day is coming. A challenging day is actually coming. If you think this is hard, and this is where you've now set your threshold as difficult, I know I would have been screwed. I would have been screwed, because then anything going forward that broke that threshold, which I think is arguably very low, and I think I've made a very good argument for that, anything else going forward is going to seem impossible, not hard, not challenging. It's going to seem impossible to get through. And I don't want that for you. Okay, so if you think quitting smoking weed is hard, quitting vaping is hard, quitting drinking alcohol is hard, you have a few options, a few things you can do next. You can follow me into the next video. That's the easiest thing. You can go to the link below and you can download one of our free guides or PDFs on how to quit smoking, how to quit vaping, how to overcome addiction. We have an entire ebook. There's another option. If withdrawals and cravings are a problem, you can spend $30, get a 2-week supply. You can spend $70, get a 30-day supply, a full month supply of our chewing gum, which is designed to help reduce cravings and reduce a lot of the withdrawal symptoms, the brain fog, the lack of concentration, the stuff associated with quitting smoking weed, quitting alcohol, quitting nicotine. If you don't feel like doing that and you need a little more support, and accountability is really what you need, check out our group coaching sessions. It's $27 a month. We go live 2 times a month. If you want privacy, and if you really want to value your time and you want to shotgun this and just get everything you need in one conversation, consider booking a one-on-one addiction recovery coaching call. It has a money-back guarantee. That Kick It Crave Less chewing gum, it helps to reduce stress because it contains KSM-66 ashwagandha, so it actually helps to increase a person's stress tolerance. I'm not just saying that. KSM-66 ashwagandha is clinically shown to do just that. Until next time, guys.